First Lady Mark II was built around a particle lift system, just like all the buildings in the city. I read all about it in the Columbian Scientific. The particles seated at the top of the structure must be up that lift. Perfect.
Seems like a lot of technology just to float an airship. Comstock never heard of hydrogen?
The First Lady Mark I did run on hydrogen, and it was destroyed by a single bullet from a Vox sniper. Unfortunately, the Prophet wasn't on board at the time. If I take the active particle, then the First Lady is just a 40-ton paperweight. Best to take the spare. Here we go. Now let's head back through that tear.
You honestly expect Atlas to honor his side of the deal?
No, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
How do you plan on handling Atlas? He ain't just some spliced-up maniac.
He'll make a mistake. I just have to be ready to take advantage of it when it happens.
All for a girl you barely know.
How well did you know me when you came to Columbia? Nothing but trouble that way. Best to head straight back to Rapture.
Pretty lady not finished yet.
What? Open the tear!
Powerful device, very expensive. Tit for tat.
Just tell me what you want.
So John wanted something simple. Lock of hair.
Oh, you're not serious.
Not your hair, stupid! Think has a secret life. Mothballed, forgotten. In there, hair sample. In jar. Cannot miss it. You get for suture. Then everybody friends.
Where's his lab?
Closed off, past Fink's quarters. You smart lady, you find.
Should have seen that one coming.
Vox Populi. We must have arrived right in the middle of the siege.
That means the other you and I are probably inside the factory.
Press to generate a bullet-snatching shield that places ammo into your gun.
On our way up to the First Lady.
And what happens if we run into ourselves?
We won't,
How do you know that?
because we didn't.
Taken your counsel, and you done me good service, but I will not hurt the boy. I will see Fink and Comstock burn, but I will not hold the son to account for the deeds of his father.
You've misunderstood us.
We neither asked you to harm the child.
Nor did we promise that yours would be the hand that would set Comstock's world afire.
A famous man once said,
And a famous man shall say,
I may reach the mountaintop.
but I fear I shall never visit the valley below.
But you mean I won't live to see the... No.
It's up to you what matters more,
Your part in the play?
or the play itself.
Someone is coming.
She'll arrive a girl.
She must leave. A woman.
And what makes the difference between a girl and a woman?
Blood.
Your part in the play.
Or the play itself?
Turn her into a killer? How?
Give the girl no choice.
And she will be forced to make one.
one thing people need to learn is that fear is the antidote to fear. I don't want to be a part of their world. I don't want to be a part of their culture, their politics, their people. The sun is setting on their world, and soon enough, all they gonna see is the dark.
In the people's voice, such is the fate of all hoarders and exploiters. Those who had all will have nothing. Those who idled shall toil.
Say it! Long live Daisy.
Looks like the mechanism unlocks certain activities when Fink gives his blessing.
So what? We're stuck waiting for the cuckoo to go off?
No, there's a slot for some kind of key for manual winding. We just gotta find that.
Sure seems like a lot of work to lock down a few doors.
Yo, if there's one thing Fink loves, it's a lot of work. We've got the clock key.
As to the matter of religion, let me place myself in the camp of the...
Good. How to get that idiot his lock of hair.
But my Booker DeWitt died for the Vox Populi. You either an imposter or a ghost. My Booker DeWitt was a hero to the cause, a story to tell your children. You just complicated the narrative.
you there? I miss you. You were the only one who ever... You were my only friend. Booker.
I'm not even here. I'm a projection of your own.
Could you humor me then? Please.
I think Booker would miss you.
What's going on? No one will touch you.
Who's there? Jesus, it's ripe in here. Say, somebody, fetch me a millionaire to clean this mess up.
Still breathing. Who did this? I'll hunt you down.
Surrender! I'll kill you!
Find her!
Don't think you can hide from me!
Daisy sacrificed herself. Set me up to kill her, to turn me into what?
A killer.
Yeah, well, mission accomplished. I'm no martyr. How did you do it, Booker? How did you...
Elizabeth, I'm not Booker.
And neither am I.
Seems like Fink and Suchong were sharing their research.
Like the Lutesses. Cross-reality collaboration. It all makes a kind of sense. The little sisters and the big daddies. Songbird and me.
Constants and variables. What is all this?
Imprinting. That's a wire mother. If you separate a gorilla from its real mother, it will imprint on almost anything. Even that.
Why would Fink care about that?
Songbird. He wanted him to imprint on me.
Well, if I recall, that was a problem he solved. What's that?
It's a skeletal formula for oxytocin. That's the chemical that bonds mothers to children, women to men, and...
Songbirds to little girls?
Apparently not. Fink dismissed it as an unsuitable vector. These poor things. Fink couldn't get them to imprint, so he left them to die. Imprinting failed. That can't be right. Clearly they formed a connection between Songbird and me.
How?
I was so young, I always remember him just being there. It must be a prototype or something.
Is it human?
Does it matter? I tried hypnotherapy.
On the Songbird. How'd that go?
About as well as you'd expect. Booker, the little girl in the film. It's me. My God. Oh, I remember. He'd crashed into the tower. I guess he was in some sort of fight. I waited there thinking I don't know, that something would happen, but he just lay there. Moaning. I couldn't just...
The line with the thorn in its paw. So much for science.
I should have just left him there to die. I should have just... I will never escape it. Exploited, exploiting, me, Comstock, you, Sally. It's like a wheel of blood spinning round and round. Well, this must be the genetic sample Suchong wanted.
He sent you all the way back here for a sample of your own hair?
He doesn't know I was once the child that imprinted on Songbird. But to him, all the answers lie in DNA. Men like Suchong mistake an ounce of empathy for a pound of science.
It's open! See if anything's worth reappropriating. Check for stragglers. Spread out.
Hey, you friend or foe?
Here I come! Who's out there? You can't kill her forever!
going on? Just grabbing anything that looks harmless.
Over here! Sing-a-ling! Since when did you become Lord and Master?
What's going on? Someone about?
Used to tell
Make you die! Tell your oppressor! Get you out of my sight. Put knife right in you!
Do you think Daisy really even had a choice?
What do you mean?
Right about now, I'm planting a pair of scissors in her back to protect a child she was never going to harm. She chose to die for her revolution. What about me? For all the endless worlds, all the infinite possibilities. Did I ever even have a choice? Did you?
Yeah. Booker thought he did.
Look where it got us. Right back where we started. All these infinite universes. And yet we end up just going down the same paths.
No, take your meaning.
My father sold me to settle a marker. Comstock locked me up in a tower. And I sold Sally for what? Revenge? To prove a point?
And yet, here you are, settling the debt.
And say we find her. The old past their damage to the young. Isn't it too late for her?
Well, I'd say that's up to her to decide. Justice coming back here was up to you.
Rapture runs on children. Little girls with gold growing in their bellies. I'm not gonna break any cycle. If I'm lucky, maybe I can dent it. Just a little.
I heard you. Here I come. To arms! Kill her!
Yeah, there's a war coming. You can smell it in the air. Fear, hatred, people dying every day. But how many more will suffer if we rise up? Violence begets violence, I know this. I've seen this.
All these infinite universes. And yet we end up just going down the same paths.
No, take your meaning.
My father sold me to settle a marker. Comstock locked me up in a tower. And I sold Sally for what? Revenge? To prove a point?
And yet, here you are, settling the debt.
And say we find her. The old past their damage to the young. Isn't it too late for her now?
Well, I'd say that's up to her to decide. Just as coming back here was up to you.
Rapture runs on children. Little girls with gold growing in their bellies. I'm not gonna break any cycle. If I'm lucky, maybe I can dent it. Just a little.
Pretty lady has the hair? Deal is deal. Bring it to Suchong.
Pretty lady put hair sample in tube. Then, business is finished.
What's going on out there?
Bloodshed, violence, but not relevant to our arrangement.
Suchong, we had a deal, now open.
Do you know what they call someone who enters a man's home uninvited? A thief. And I do not remember inviting you into my city.
I had a deal with Suchong.
Suchong is my employee. It was not a deal he was authorized to make.
What do you want?
I granted Atlas and his thugs asylum. You serve those same men in a desire to escape from my generosity. If they shall not have asylum, then they shall have liquidation. Give a parasite an ounce of charity, he'll demand a pound.
I'm just looking for a girl that was taken from me. A little sister.
I don't claim to understand what you are, but I know that you are special. There is business we can do together. And so I give you a choice. Work for me or die with Atlas.
I'm not going anywhere without that girl.
If it's a little sister you want, that shouldn't stand in the way of commerce. I've got dozens of them.
I won't leave without her.
My men stand ready to take down the door. In 60 seconds, they will enter the room. They will either treat you as a valued employee of Ryan Industries or as a thief in the night.
60 seconds.
There must be half a dozen of them or more. I've got to get ready. Now, traps. I can use the plasmids as traps and seed the room with them. I gotta find somewhere to hide and surprise them. Take them down one by one. Booker, I'm scared.
They'll underestimate you, Elizabeth. People always do.
40 seconds. You know what I see on your face? Uncertainty. Who is this girl to you? 30 seconds. Do you know the value of the shark? Without them, the sea would be littered with the detritus of the weak. The men who come for you have much in common with those great animals. What sharks do for the ocean, these men do for rapture. 20 seconds. I will tell you something you already sense. Atlas does not honor agreements. Andrew Ryan does. I cannot save your Sally, but I can save you. Time. You're not a hero. You're not even a parasite. You're just a room. And Andrew Ryan has no time for rooms.
targets, you get me. You can't keep running forever. This one's down for the count. We're not all easy targets. You get me?
Come on out!
Now you're in the Subic. Nothing personal, sweetheart.
Tenenbaum. Sometimes I pity the little freak. Such a tiny imagination. Content to sit there with the tanks of Adam tweaking and optimizing. I need to create. Adam is a canvas of a genetic modification, but the plasmids are the paint. 60 seconds.
There must be half a dozen of them or more. I've got to get ready. No traps. I can use the plasmids as traps and seed the room with them. I gotta find somewhere to hide and
Down for the count. We're not all easy targets, you get me?
Nobody lay your hand on you. Not so long as I'm here.
This one's down for the count. We're not...
You should have taken Ryan's deal.
Get back here!